Chapter 10. The Whistler's Whirlpool Tap Calf on Trogan. Situated on the coast of Trogan's most densely populated continent, the Whirlpool had been built around a natural formation called the Drinking Cup, a bowl-shaped rock pit open to the sea at its base. 6 times a day, Trogan's massive tidal shifts sent the water level inside the bowl either up or down, turning it into a violent whitewater maelstrom in the process. With the tap calf's tables arranged in concentric circles around the bowl, it made for a nice balance between luxury and the spectacular natural drama. A perfect drawing card for the billions of humans and aliens enamored of that combination.
You have the guest list. Right here. Afraid it's not as long as I'd hoped. And that's all right. Ferrier. Niles Ferrier. The spaceship thief? Yeah, that's him. He does smuggling, too. He works for the Empire. I'm talking about working directly for Grand Admiral Thrawn, doing such minor jobs as snatching the man who located the Katana fleet for him. Ferrier did that, and seemed to enjoy doing it. Lacton?
Right here.
How do things look at the garrison?
Like a morgue on its day off.
I've never yet heard of an Imperial garrison simply taking a day off. Point. Maybe we should cancel the meeting. No. We'll stay. Our guests won't exactly be sitting here helpless, after all. And we should have adequate warning of any official moves against us. Actually, it's almost worth the risk, just to see what they have in mind. Still, we have 2 hours before the meeting. Let's see what we can arrange, shall we?
You speak well, Card. One might say passionately, if such a word could ever be said to apply to you. But you do not persuade.
Do I truly not persuade, Brask? Or do I merely fail to overcome your reluctance to stand up to the Empire?
The Empire pays well for smuggled goods.
And for slaves as well? And for victims of kidnap? You are no better than was the Hutt.
We're not here to argue. All I've suggested is that we provide the New Republic with any useful information we might happen to come across in the course of our activities.
Why are we here? You'll forgive me, Card, but this sounds very much like a New Republic recruitment speech.
Too dangerous. Far too dangerous. With Imperial harassment of New Republic shipping as it is, you take your life in claw grip every time you lift off.
So, what you're saying is that Imperial strength is becoming increasingly dangerous to our business activities.
Since Grand Admiral Thrawn took command, I've heard the stories of this warlord Pata. It was he who forced my world under the Imperial shroud.
That ought to be a good reason for you to stand up to him.
Nothing will happen to us if we don't oppose him. They need our services too much for that.
That's a nice theory. But I can tell you right now, it won't hold a mug's worth of vacuum.
And you are?
Niles Ferrier. And I can tell you flat out that minding your own business isn't gonna do you a blame bit of good if Thrawn decides he wants you.
And yet he pays well. Or so I've heard.
You've heard that, huh? Have you also heard that he grabbed me off Nukov and confiscated my ship? And then ordered me out on a nasty little errand for him aboard a bomb-rigged intelligence bucket?
Were you paid for all your trouble?
Course I was paid. That's not the point.
It is for me. Sorry, Card. But I still haven't heard any good reason for me to stick my neck out this way.
Very well. I think it's clear now where all of you stand on this. Thank you for your time. Perhaps we can plan to meet again after...
Stay where you are. Face forward. No one move. Everyone here is under Imperial detention.
Looks like you were right about Farrier. Perhaps. On the other hand, perhaps not. Take a look. Just past Elor's shoulder. What in hell's name is that? Farrier's pet devil, I think. Sometimes called wraiths. Solo told me about him. This is it. Everyone ready?
We're ready.
Card swept his gaze across his fellow smugglers and their aides, catching each pair of eyes in turn. They gazed back, their shock at the ambush rapidly turning to a cold anger. And they, too, were ready.
Look, there.
Now.
The entire room exploded into blaster fire. Brask and his bodyguards took out an entire squad of troopers in the first 5 seconds, with a synchronized fire that showed the Brug hadn't forgotten his mercenary background. Partah's entourage was concentrating on the other end of the line, their weapons smaller and less devastating than Brask's heavy blaster pistols, but more than enough to keep the Imperials pinned down. Dravis, Elor, and Klingon were taking advantage of that cover fire to pick off the remaining troopers one by one.
Aves, Fane, concentrate fire on the chariots.
There were shouts of acknowledgement from the edge of the drinking cup behind him, and the rifle blast sizzling past his shoulder shifted their aim. Card eased a little over his table, caught a glimpse of Mazik's female companion. Another Imperial lunged up out of cover, bringing his rifle to bear on her, falling backward again as Card's shot caught him square in the torso. From outside came the sound of a massive explosion, echoed an instant later by a second blast. And then, suddenly, it was all over.
Everyone all right?
They got Lishma. He wasn't even shooting.
I'm sorry.
The Empire's going to be a lot sorrier. Okay, Card? I'm convinced. Where do I sign up?
Somewhere far away from here, I think. Pass the word to the others. We're pulling back to the ship.
Time to make ourselves scarce?
Just as soon as we can. Well, gentlefolk, we'll see you in space.
So what's the plan? You want us to help hunt down this clone pipeline you mentioned, right?
Yes. We know it goes through Podaris, so Oris sector is the place to start.
My group's with you. Matter of fact, Card, if you want, I'll see what I can do about getting your people some real fighting ships.
I may take you up on that. Partah?
We will assist in the search. The Empire must be taught a lesson.
Thank you, Mazik.
I agree with Partah, but I think the lesson needs to be a bit more eye-catching. You go ahead and do your clone hunt. Elor and I have something else in mind.
So much for staying neutral.
After that last raise and the Imperial price on us, there are probably 20 bounty hunters waiting off Coruscant for us to show up.
Is that what you think happened down there? Some bounty hunter got wind of the meeting and tipped off the Imperials?
Well, I'll have our people on Trogan make some quiet inquiries. See if they can backtrack that unit and find out where the tip-off came from. In the meantime, we have a hunt to organize. Let's get to it.
Niles Farrier, Admiral. As per orders. You were on Trogan 2 days ago. You met with 2 men currently wanted by the Empire, Talon Card and Samuel Tomas Gillespie.
You also persuaded a small and unprepared task force under one Lieutenant Reynold Kosk to launch a rash attack on this meeting. An attack which failed. Is all this true?
Sure is. See, that's why I sent you that message, so you'd know.
Then I should like to hear your reasons. Why I should not order your immediate execution.
What? But I've gotten in with Card. He trusts me now. See, that was the whole idea. I can dig out the rest of his gang and deliver the whole bunch to you.
You were directly responsible for the deaths of 4 stormtroopers and 32 Imperial Army troops. Also for the destruction of 2 chariot command speeders and their crews. I am not the Lord Darth Vader, Farrier. I do not spend my men recklessly, nor do I take their deaths lightly.
Sir, Admiral, I know that you've put a bounty on Card's whole group of almost...
But all that pales in comparison to the utter disaster you've created. Intelligence informed me of this meeting of smuggler chiefs almost 4 days ago. I knew the location, the timing, and the probable guest list. And I had already given the Trogan garrison precise instructions. Precise instructions, Farrier, to leave it strictly alone.
You... But... Sir... But I don't get it.
I'm sure you don't. I know these smugglers, Farrier. I've studied their operations, and I've made it a point to deal personally with each of them at least once over the past year. None of them wants to become entangled in this war. And without your staged attack, I'm quite certain they would have left Trogan convinced that they could sit things out in traditional smuggler neutrality. The result of your interference has been to unite them against the Empire. Precisely the turn of events I'd gone to great lengths to avoid.
I'm sorry, Admiral. I didn't mean... I mean, just give me another chance, huh? Just one more chance. I can deliver Card. I swear to you. Well, hey, I mean, never mind even Card. I'll deliver all of them to you.
You are a small-minded fool, Farrier. But even fools occasionally have their uses. You will have one more chance. One last chance. I trust I make myself clear.
Yes, Admiral. Real clear.
Good. You can start by telling me exactly what they have planned.
Sure. Don't worry, Admiral. You can count on me.
I certainly hope so. Because I would hate to have to send Rook to pay you a visit. I trust I make myself understood.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Good. Commander, escort our guest back to his ship, and see that his people are checked out on the assault shuttle I've had prepared for them. Yes, sir. Go with them, Rook. Farrier has a small mind, and I want it to leave here filled with the knowledge of what will happen if he trips over my plans again.
Yes, my lord.
Eventually, I'm sure some of the other smugglers will realize how unconvincing the Trogan attack really was. With a little judiciously planted evidence, perhaps we can persuade them that it was Card who was behind it. No word yet from Coruscant?
Not yet, sir. But you remember what Himron said about first creating a data trail. He might have run into some delays.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. Still, even if we fail to obtain the twins for our beloved Jedi Master, Major Himron's fingering of Mara Jade should succeed in neutralizing her as a threat to us. For the moment, that's what's important. Set course for the Kataris battle plane, Captain. We'll leave as soon as Farrier is clear.